This is Anne from focusedandonfire.com. In these daily deposits, I'm talking about being more visible in your career, setting goals and making them happen, and getting things done without working harder, putting more pressure on yourself, or sleeping less. You ready? Today I want to talk about getting mad at yourself for procrastinating. And I'm going to be showing you that getting mad at yourself for procrastinating is not going to help you to get back on track and get things done. On the contrary, getting mad at yourself when you catch yourself procrastinating is going to have you want to procrastinate even more. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be showing you what different approach you can take when you catch yourself procrastinating. An approach that is much more helpful to get back on track and to start working on the things that you wanted to get done. All right. Before we do that, we need to really go back to the beginning and really have a look at where it all starts. And as always, it starts with the dreaded task. There is something that you want to get done, that you need to get done, that you plan to get done. And also, there is lots of dread and discomfort that is coming with that task. And so in that moment, your brain has two options. Your brain can decide to work through that dread and discomfort and then get going on that task and start working on that task, following through and getting that task done. The other option that your brain has, instead of following through and dealing with the dread, is to not deal with the dread and to escape the dread. And that is when your brain goes into procrastination mode. That is when your brain is looking for things that will bring you that sense of relief, that sense of safety, that sense of pleasure that you will not find with the dreaded task, but that you will find doing something else. Now, when you catch yourself procrastinating, what we tend to do, or what we might do, is we might be mad at ourselves. We might get mad at ourselves for not doing the thing that we wanted to do, but for doing something else. And so when we catch ourselves procrastinating, we tend to be very judgmental towards ourselves. And we tell ourselves things like, oh, well, you should have done this thing. Like, you didn't get anything done today. You should have done all the things today. You should have done all the things yesterday. Why can't you just do the things as you want them to do? Why do you always have to do all these other things? You have no backbone. You have no discipline. You have no willpower. This is horrible. And other people are so much more in control and so much more on top of things. They get stuff done. And you never get anything done. You just waste your time doing all the things and then not making progress on the things that really need to get done. And so you'll never reach your goals, you'll never make your goals happen, you'll never advance in your career. Like, if you cannot even do this small thing done, how are you ever gonna make big things done, get big things done and make big progress in your career and achieve the goals that you want to achieve? And so we are very judgmental towards ourselves. And when we are this judgmental towards ourselves, we get very mad. We feel very angry towards ourselves. We feel disappointed in ourselves. We feel bad about ourselves. And we feel like a failure, as if we are failing and failing ourselves. And so when we feel this, we are not inclined to all of a sudden tackle that dreaded task. On the contrary, we want to procrastinate even more. And we want to find ways to find more relief and to find more fun and to find more pleasure and escape from all the disappointment and the anger and that sense of failure that we are experiencing in that moment. So instead of having us do the task that we really want to get done, we are going into procrastination even more. And then we notice that. And then we get even more mad at ourselves, telling us all kinds of judgmental things. And then we feel even more angry and disappointed in ourselves and bad about ourselves and like an even bigger failure. And that then has us want to procrastinate even more. And then we catch ourselves doing that. And then we tell ourselves even more judgmental things. And then we feel even more mad at ourselves and disappointed and bad about ourselves, and then we procrastinate even more. And so this is this cycle that keeps going and that keeps feeding itself. And so the solution, the way out, is definitely not getting mad at ourselves, because that is creating that extra desire for procrastination in the first place. So being mad at ourselves is not the way out. There is a completely different approach that is much more helpful to really reconnect with the task that needs to be done and to create that habit of following through. And that is catching yourself procrastinating, but then instead of getting mad at yourself, is having this compassionate and curious attitude towards yourself. Is being very gentle with yourself, very understanding with yourself, and also having this curiosity to figure out what is going on and to really see what happened and to learn from that so that you can do better next time. And so instead of telling yourself all these judgmental things, you can really tell yourself things that are much more understanding, much more gentle, and much more okay with what is happening, and that are using the procrastination that happened as a tool to learn and to grow and to get things done and to create the habit of following through. And what you can do to be compassionate towards yourself and have that curiosity towards what is going on is to simply observe what went on, what happened. And so you can tell yourself like, hey, I planned to do this task and I didn't do it. That is a neutral observation. And I noticed that I was doing this other thing instead. And that is okay. That happens. That is what brains do. When brains face a dreaded task, they have the option to go into procrastination because they're looking for a relief. They're looking for that moment of pleasure. And it is because I have not been working through my dread that my brain has been making that choice. So actually, it is a great thing that this procrastination happened, because now, once I notice that I procrastinated, I know that there must be some dread at the start of all this. And now that I know that there must have been some dread at the start of all this, I can really look at that dread and open up that box and see what is going on. So that then, with that knowledge, I can work through that dread and then start creating that habit of following through. This is how I uplevel. This is how I become great at following through, by catching myself procrastinating and then, instead of getting mad at myself, being compassionate with myself and being curious about what is going on, figuring out what is going on with the dread, working through that dread, and then getting into action. That is how I get great at following through. But every time I procrastinate, I get better at following through when I allow myself to be compassionate and curious towards myself. Every time when I procrastinate, when I get mad at myself, I lose that opportunity. So being compassionate and curious is really taking what happened, being okay with that, and then using that as a learning opportunity to iterate your way to awesome, to great results, to getting things done, and to following through. So what I want you to take away from this video is that getting mad at yourself when you catch yourself procrastinating is not the solution to get back on track. It is creating the exact opposite effect, and it will have you want to procrastinate even more. A compassionate and curious approach to what is going on is what is going to learn you so much more, and is what is going to get you back on track. It is going to help you to understand what is going on, and it's going to help you to work through the dread and create that habit of following through. So the next time you catch yourself procrastinating, cut yourself some slack, and instead of getting mad at yourself, get curious about what is going on, because there is so much to learn in every moment and from every moment that you catch yourself procrastinating. All right, I hope this was helpful. See you in the next video. This was today's daily deposit. And now it's your turn. Imagine jumping out of bed in the morning, excited to get to work. Instead of feeling unfulfilled, trapped, and snowed under by endless to-dos, hard work, and other people's expectations. You want to lead and make a difference. It's time for you to let all that potential out. One tiny daily deposit at a time. Are you ready? Well, I got something for you. Are you finding yourself procrastinating despite your drive and commitment to do great work? Well, let me tell you, you don't need more willpower, discipline, or a better planner to get things done. Because those are not the reason why you find yourself procrastinating in the first place. Learn why you are procrastinating at focusandonfire.com/daily deposit. And learn how to stop procrastinating and get really great at doing exactly what you said you were gonna do. And that's how you become unstoppable.